Okay, I'm really excited to do this video. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me here rather than there. This is for all the people in the world who think that skateboarding is inherently dangerous. It's not at all if you approach it the right way, and the sole reason I'm making this video is just because I've seen so many beginner skaters just not realize that they were throwing themselves in the deep end with the way they were approaching it, whether it was the way they were standing on the board or what they were trying to do first, or this idea that the skateboard's going to do most of the work for them, or you know, things of that nature. Here we are at beautiful Balcoholics Skatepark, kind of overcast day, but it's been boiling hot here in Australia, if you couldn't tell by my voice. Lately, so and then it's been freezing cold. It really just can't make its mind up. So yeah, here we are. We're going to get amongst it and going to try and teach you the basics, because skateboarding, it really is the gift that keeps on giving to me. You just have to approach it in the right way, and it's simply a matter of education that's going to get people to a place where they can have the same gift in their lives that I do and so many of my friends do, where we just know it's amazing for our mental health, it's amazing for our physical health. I didn't do anything else for my physical health for a long time, and I stayed in, you know, relatively good nick just from skateboarding. And there's a creative aspect to it, and it's just, it ticks all the boxes. It's a really, really great thing to have in your life, and it is not inherently dangerous. So I'm gonna show you that today. Yeah, I think there's something else I was going to say, but oh, just that it's for all ages. You really can. I wish he was here today, but my buddy Barry Robinson, I think he might have just turned 60, or he's in his 50s, definitely in his 50s, still skates like just, you know, as capably as the rest of us, you know, and he knows how to minimize damage when it comes to it, and it's really quite avoidable. And when it comes to you facing it, you know, if you want to pursue a more professional career, there is absolutely ways to minimize it too, even in the most dangerous of scenarios, you know. So this really is a 0 to 99 on the box age sport. Anyone, any age, I think, can do this. Maybe, you know, in the later half of that, you're getting a little more frail. If you're 80 plus, this might not be the most optimal choice, but I would wish that everyone could have this in their lives. So yeah, I can't recommend enough that if you're watching this video, you want to learn how to skate, it's time to do it, but let's do it right, you know. Let's make sure you're not breaking bones. And because, look, the people who think that it's inherently dangerous, I can't blame them for thinking that way, because it really is a matter of, I've seen too many beginners just fall in terrible, terrible ways, and they break their collarbones, they break their femurs, and just the worst injuries, you know. And it's just all that they didn't realize they were throwing themselves in the deep end, or they were just approaching it completely wrong. They just didn't know what they were getting themselves into. So, you know, let's get into it. Let's show you how to get into it. I'm excited to make this video, if you can't tell. Cool. So here's where you all want to start, right? Here's where you're thinking we start. No, bad. We do not start here. That's foolish. That's how you murder your body. Don't do that. That was a bird. Maybe you think we start over here. Wrong again. Well, actually, here's a pretty good place to start because no one else is here. But while you're learning the fundamentals, you don't actually want to be in a skate park. There's no reason for you to go to the skate park yet if you can't simply navigate flat ground. So we're going to figure that part out first. we actually start here, nice and far away from pedestrians, skate park patrons, etc. And maybe also with some shoes that there's not too much height to them, you know, and there's a kind of flat is generally better, but not to any extreme. Hey buddy. I like these slip-ons. I like slip-ons in general just because it's kind of the same benefit as being barefoot, but just with a little protection. That's why you would wear thicker shoes as well, but this is part of the design of skate shoes. Anyhow, if you have skate shoes of any metric or just something flat, they don't need to be anything too special, just maybe not running shoes or boots. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is, see the bolts here? We're going to stand over them. Not going to stand like this. Or there. Hello. That's no good, because think about what you're trying to do, right? The wheels connect you to the ground. The bolts connect you to the wheels, and the wheels connect you to the ground. So in the ideal scenario, your skateboard is just going to be an extension of your body. So stand over the bolts, and then you are the most able to navigate the ground with as little sort of being lost in translation as possible. Because if you're here, it's like you're much farther away from actually having a real direct control over the wheels. So stand over the bolts. And if you feel that, you know, you want to learn to tic-tac and stuff, you only need to edge your back foot out just a little bit to get that little bit going. You see? There's the bolts. I'm completely over the bolts now. I can even actually lift it up a little bit there, so it's no sweat. Hey mate, how you doing? I like your tie-dye hoodie. I need one of those actually. I need a tie-dye hoodie. So stand over the bolts, and you'll be much more in control of your skateboard just from the jump. Foot position is very key to skateboarding, and really your whole body. It's a full body activity, 100%, and we'll get more into that in a sec when we finally do get back to the dropping in, which beginners seem to be really obsessed with the notion of dropping in. I think you should do away with that if you want to have a good time skating. I personally didn't drop in until I had been skating for about 2 years, and I think that is probably the best for what I'm trying to preach here, which is being able to skate and preserve your body at the same time. Yeah, we've got a viewer right above the camera there, so really probably time to end this clip then. Okay, so once we've got the standing still part of it kind of functional, you feel safe there and stable and a-okay, you're not gonna die. Maybe you want to do a little bit of this. It's good to be able to do either end. That's going to help you, you know, if you, I don't really know, maybe that's actually a step further along, is to be able to pivot off both trucks like this. That may be a bit excessive, but I would recommend to begin with just, you know, being able to do this and find that sort of A-frame shape in your body and find a real sense of stability and comfortability. Comfortability is really what we're pursuing. But after you've got that happening and you've really spend some time on it, you know, do not rush your way into anything in skateboarding. Really the first thing before all of this is you should be concerned with the idea, or you should be, it sounds like the silly first tip, like yeah right, get to the real tips, but the truth of the matter is the first thing you should do with skateboarding is let go of any expectation that you feel other people have for you or that you have for yourself about how quickly you should get good or what you should be capable of. Don't feel any pressure from anyone else, just it's just like, because skateboarding is a tremendous reality check. You will, if you get overconfident, even slightly, skateboarding will punish you. And you know, it's not a malevolent beast or anything. It doesn't have a mind of its own. You just need to approach it the right way, and it will be the gift that keeps on giving. I really, really, truly believe that it's every facet of my life. It just contributes something great to. Now I've got birds hanging out. This is nice. But so once you've got just hanging out on flat going, and maybe you want to start doing this, which we call tic-taccing. If you feel like you can do that, left, right, not in a circle necessarily. You know what the skate park looks like? What are you looking at the camera for? Left, right, left, right. And that may look more effortless for me, obviously, because I've been doing it for like 20 years, but you know, I know longer than that actually. I've been skating for nearly 20 years, but I skated for the first time earlier than that. But the ease with which that occurs is so much about foot position, and then it's also not, it's being aware of your shoulders as well. Because you'll notice when I turn it to the right, let me make sure it's in the frame. When I turn that way, my shoulders will remain open to sort of pull it back, and then pull it that way, and then pull it back, and then pull it that way, and then pull it back. And so it's just building the efficiency of motion, and just to be aware of your upper body as well will really help you. And once you have that, if you really want to be in a skate park, the only thing you're going to be accomplishing in a skate park is maybe rolling down something like this. Stand over the bolts, adjust your body forward with the ramp.
Are these yours?
They're not mine, oh my god. No. Someone split a pair of scissors in half. Quite a weapon in the skate park. So I can't really show this, but tip your shoulders so that they go parallel with the ramp, basically. That's what you want to accomplish. And then if you feel so inclined, you can do it with this one. And gradually step it up. And that's how you learn anything in skating, is slowly, incrementally building it up. Come on, just show the camera what you got there. That's probably the most deadly thing I've seen in Ballina skate park. Very nice. There's people riding around. We don't actually want to impede that while we're learning to skate. So we're going to find somewhere where they're not skating, which I've singled out this medium half pipe, which it really doesn't matter at this point what size you're skating, because you're just going to be skating down the bottom to develop the fundamentals. I can't click my fingers for shit. So because I know you're dying to be in the ramp already, that's really all you want to do on your skateboard. Hey brother. Doing good. I'm doing a little instructional for some beginner homies.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Good
So
on
yeah. I hate seeing them smoke themselves, you know?
Yeah.
You see so much online, like someone trying to drop in like this or some shit, and like,
I want them to do it properly, eh?
yeah, I just hate constantly seeing like just totally avoidable like femur breaks and, you know, just the worst injuries, like.
Yeah, not good, eh?
Yeah, I know you're dying to be in the ramp, so you start very low like this, and you'll see staying kind of parallel with it. That's really all it is. You just want to roll up and back, and this is how you build up to dropping in, but you really shouldn't care about dropping in until you're perfectly stable on your board, and slowly build it up. That's how you do everything in skating. Don't be trying to throw yourself in the deep end, realize where the deep end is. In skateboarding, don't try to tray flip before you can ollie, etc. That's the general idea. Yes, I'm talking to myself and my camera, it's very exciting. YouTube generation, ladies and gentlemen. But then yeah, and you see this kind of crouch, and then you straighten your legs a little bit to like generate speed out of it. Generate speed out of it. Generate speed out of it. That's the purpose of pumping, is straighten your legs so that your board rolls faster through this part. And that's how you can build up some speed. And because so many of you think that, I know you think that skating is just like, how can I drop in on the biggest ramp as soon as possible? This is how you do it. You just start real low, touch there. If you can do that, you've already like learnt a trick sort of thing. Doesn't have a name, but that's how you do it. Just build it up. And then eventually, oh my god, you actually did a trick. It's incredible. And then sooner or later, did I just drop in? It's incredible. Then sooner or later, it's unbelievable. And so that's how you should approach learning to drop in. Because the whole motivator for me making this video is really because of that. People just get up here and they think it's all about bravery. It's not about bravery. Don't be brave on your skateboard. You've got to like approach it sensibly. If you feel like you're being brave on your skateboard and you really have to like white knuckle it, you're making a mistake and you're gonna permanently injure yourself. And I don't want that for you. I hate seeing it. I really, really hate seeing it. And it's totally avoidable. Shoo. But this is how to approach it. And if you're scared, like you need to remain in your comfort zone and just edge it out, edge it out, edge it out. And again, do not feel the expectation of others or for yourself. Let go of all of that.
Oh, he's making a YouTube clip.
Oh, it's amazing. It's incredible. The fame.
YouTube clip.
Oh my God.
What's the channel name? What's the channel?
Yeah, bud. See, this guy's learning now.
From you.
I guess so.
That's
you know.
very surprising.
Yeah. 175 years old. Alright, so one more thing. It started raining, so this is actually kind of a perfect time now that it started raining. Oh, actually, wait. I didn't do the little clicky thing. Okay. So it's just started raining here, and that's actually kind of a perfect time, just sprinkling lightly. It may have stopped actually already. This park gets dangerous when it's wet, and it's just started sprinkling a little bit here, and that's actually kind of perfect timing for what we're going to talk about next, sort of, which is bailing. So if you find that you're not turning far enough, you want to be able to step off your board. It's infinitely more important for you to be able to escape your board and get off your board than to stay on it. It's way, way more important to be able to get off when you need to than it is to stay on it. Right, if you're going to do the thing, go on the other side.
Okay.
So, the first example I've got for trying to bail, I would say, starts with that full body activity thing I was talking about before. So if you turn, you don't want to be doing this, where your shoulders have to, you're really worried about that your legs are doing the right thing, but it puts you in a very compromised and dangerous position because your body is all contorted and you're still trying to maintain balance over the board. It's not conducive to safe skateboarding, and you're going to have a bad time, or however the time, I can't do the whatever.
Because what is skiing about? Having a good time. That's right. Now, just a few safety things to keep in mind. First of all, look straight ahead when you ski. If you look down, you're going to fall. You're going to have a bad time. Also, be aware of skiers around you. If you run into another skier, your skis are going to cross.
Going to have a bad time. So we don't want to be doing this. And we also don't want to be doing too much of this either. The idea would be to have your shoulders as close to over your legs as possible at all times. Not at all times, but that's the base point that you want to maintain for the most part, and then you can return there. And really it's just to recognize within yourself that that's the safest place to be, not here, because then your legs want to go here, and not here too much, because then your legs want to like catch up to you, you know? It's the same thing. So basically, don't be doing this. Don't be doing this too much. You just want to start very low and just sort of make that as comfortable as you possibly can. And gradually, you can get sort of higher up the ramp, and then you're going to look at being able to do like an axle stall, and that will come from having been stable doing this sort of thing. But notice the shoulders aren't going too haywire. You've got to be really aware of your shoulders. And just gradually, you build it up the ramp. Any trick you want to learn. You can pretty much start learning it in the bottom of the ramp. And build it up. You don't have to be tapping like that. But it is just one way to say, I got to this point, I got to that point. Yeah. And before you know it, you're up on there. It's the exact same thing. You're just getting higher and higher until you do this and you're in the inside of the ramp. And then eventually, you're up on top a little more. And it just goes and goes and goes. That's really one of the big sentiments of this video, is just anything in skateboarding, just build it up incrementally. And if it's something you don't feel, there's Jake, he's very good at skating. If there's something you don't feel you can find a way to break down into small, or you can't build up to incrementally like that, like if it's like a kickflip or something, then that's when it starts that you want to like learn to just like do that. Or really you should start just trying to do good, like do a little ollie, tweak, like that's the front foot happening there. And then, I'm probably not actually in the frame, but let's just do a quick little thing on ollies too. So you're going to start, and you want this leg to go straight down. See how it's straight down, it's not going sort of like out that way, it's not going, because that's, a lot of people do those ollies where they're like, they just kind of fall onto their truck. You want it to turn into you jumping but you're on a skateboard sort of thing. And so that starts with springing sort of straight down off the back leg. And if you can get that happening, that's half the trick, and then the rest is just dragging up with your front foot. That's a little bit of it. Then you really want to get it so that you can load it and it catches, like you drag it forward so hard that it catches into your back foot. And then now you've kind of in the air got your front foot has stabilized it and your back foot has stabilized it. And then it's stabilized between those two. And you have a real sense of control over the board in the air. And that's when your ollies are going to be the most safe. And that's really where they should be before you try to ollie downstairs. A lot of the time I'll see, this is another great contributor of injury for beginner skaters, is trying to ollie before they really have that, where they'll be doing like, their feet are just like all over the place. It's just dangerous. And again, the core reason I'm making this is just to minimize injury. Skateboarding does not have to be dangerous at all. I've nearly been skating for like 20 straight years now, close to 2 decades now. And the only one serious injury I've had in that time was when I was skating drunk. And and I was skating out of my realm of ability. It could have probably happened when I was sober too, but you know, yeah, don't skate drunk. Don't, you know, you don't really need a drink either. It's not that rad. I kind of find that I've been off the bevs for a little while. Anyway, this is a whole separate topic, but I guess there's room for a little piece like that in the midst of this video, because skateboarding and alcohol and weed seem to get sort of mixed in the middle there. So, you know, if you can make those things work and they're not destroying your life and they're not ultimately resulting in negativity for those around you, because it's very subtle with alcohol. That's why I wanted to say that. It can either be very destructive, obviously, or it can also just be that they're being, you know, unfair people from alcohol. And I've been that person, you know. Thankfully, I wasn't ever too bad, but I'm someone who, I'm a sensitive person, so I kind of hang on to those memories a lot of times where I felt like at parties or whatever I was, you know, socially just unkind or wrong to someone just in some way, unfair or something. And yeah, so, you know, definitely, if nothing else, keep skateboarding and alcohol totally separate. Yeah. I'll show more bailing on flat now after that tangent. Okay, how unfortunate for you. That's the last you'll see of my face in this clip properly. Probably. My face is very stupid. But so, here we are. We're going to stand on the board. And this seems inconsequential, but it's really something that's very valuable for bailing and staying safely on your board, just escaping the board. If you feel like you can do this, you also want to be able to feel like you can do this. You also want to be able to feel like you can do this. And this. And this. And it seems like nothing, but it's not stuff you necessarily have to practice. I didn't practice it while I was skating. Get out of here. It's not stuff I necessarily practiced while skating, but it's just stuff to be aware of. That having these little things, they don't feel like tricks necessarily, but they're all new little things that you can learn and get better at every time you go skate, and they're going to help you be more and more comfortable on the board. Psych. And that's really what this is all about, being comfortable on the board. And safe. Alright, so I'm sure this video has gone on long enough at this point. Don't want to make it too long. Or it'll be, you know, a bit sort of intimidating to the very notion of watching it and absorbing sort of what I'm trying to, you know, pass on here. But I'll just touch on 2 more things, which is manuals and rock to fakies, because I think they're 2 more things that people really come into skating with some desire to do that I haven't already touched on. And so manuals, they're actually kind of a bit harder when you're standing still, but it's the same principle. You just want to stand over that wheel, those bolts that you're trying to balance on. See? The further you are here, the more of like a seesaw type action you're going to have. And it's really not conducive to balancing the board. So I'm someone who actually, I suppose I would say my strengths on a skateboard are manual centric lately. And yeah, I can really recommend that how you should approach that. Standing still, again, kind of actually harder than if you were to be rolling. Get comfortable with rolling and then try to learn manuals rolling. But stand over the bolts. Stand quite close to the bolts, just a little bit. There, and it, you know, it's the same thing with nose manuals. It'll be much more stable if you stand over the thing that you're actually using to connect to the ground with. You know, the very notion of the manual is you balancing on top of the ground. So it's your relationship to the ground that matters, of course, and to your skateboard. Jake, a bunch of bin chickens. And here is Barry, actually. Hi Barry, how you doing?
Hi, Rhys.
Good, man. I was just talking about you.
Okay.
Might get a clip of you doing a trick in a sec, hey?
Right.
These two, eh? Two peas in a pod. Kurt Bowser, ladies and gentlemen. Kurt Bowser, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Hell yeah, the fellow filmographer on Balcoholics, my full-length skate video, which you can watch on this very same channel actually if you want to do that. But don't do it if you don't want to. So this will be the last thing that I target, the specific thing that I approach today. Just the notion of rock to fakies. So you finally let go of the idea that dropping in is a silly thing to do as soon as you start skating, or it's the main thing you do on a board, or it's what you should be pursuing on a board, any shit like that. Let go of that. That's senseless, and that's how you break your femur, etc. But rock to fakies, after you've done all this previous stuff, between rock to fakies and these little tail taps that I was doing before, which will build into a drop in, after you incrementally build it up, like everything in skateboarding, very small steps, just incrementally build it up. More and more comfortability on your board, it's always a better thing, and it's something to this day I still pursue. So you can start like this with the rock to fakies, lifting up your truck a little bit there, and then maybe you want to do this, a little double tap, because that's essentially, you might be thinking, why would I do that? Do you see the similarity between, and it's quite similar. And so it's really the same thing. We're just trying to incrementally build it up, because the more that you do that, the more comfortable you're going to be when you finally get to it. Whereas if you just go from 0 to 100, you're going to be terrified, and you're probably going to break your femur, and I'm going to be really sad to see it. So don't make me sad. I won't be sad. You see? It's good to have a ramp like this that's quite forgiving. And what that means is it doesn't suck up to a vertical point like this. It's not too steep. That's ideal, but or something even smaller than this. You can actually learn this sort of thing on just like a curb cut thing. We call them gutters in Australia, but yeah, the sort of ramp that goes up a curb gutter. Yeah, so it's the same thing. We're just gonna do this and start as low as you need, you know, as long as you feel comfortable on your board and you're just edging out your comfort zone. That's what you want to be doing on your skateboard, is remaining in your comfort zone but edging it out in a safe way where you don't feel like you're putting yourself in a great deal of risk and you're not relying on bravery. Skateboarding is not the time for bravery, okay? Just if you feel like you really have to go and do it, like, you may not be ready to do that thing, so maybe don't do that thing, because you probably will hurt yourself and I will cry. So it's the same thing. You start low, you build it up. Because starting low, you'll get more and more comfortable, and then before you know it, you can sit on it for a bit. Before you know it, you can like really poke it out. You've done a very proper rock fakie, I suppose. And then once you've done that, you can do these ones too. They're fun. It's really pleasant. So these. And there you have it. It's really quite simple, folks. Just build up to anything in skateboarding. Just break it down into the smallest parts you can and manage one part at a time, learn one part at a time, and then piece them together. That's how it still works for me to this day on some much more complex tricks. So those are the fundamentals that you really want to get down to have just a good time skating. So this video was obviously motivated by my deep desire to see beginners not hurt themselves anymore. I really, really hate it. And it's completely avoidable. And that's what this video is just all about, is there's no need for that to be happening. Any of these injuries that you see beginners sustain just from standing in weird spots on their board or not knowing what they're getting themselves into, trying to drop in. You know, it's a full body activity. It's a great reality check. If you get overconfident, skateboarding will punish you. But if you approach it sensibly and you know your limits and you know your realm of ability and you take that, you remain in that space but find the edge of it and push it out. Skateboarding is the gift that keeps on giving, and I'll try not to rant too much about this because I can talk all day about it, but the reason that it's the gift that keeps on giving for me is every day you come skate, every day you go skate, you learn something new, even just in those little ways where it's stepping off the board and it's like adjusting your foot slightly for a kickflip or something like that. Or it's some bigger trick, you know. You know, not to, I guess I have to sort of put credentials in here somewhere, but watch, you know, you can watch me skate on this very channel. I shouldn't shout out any tricks, but I guess watch the skate breakdown episode if you want to see a hard trick I did. I was just looking at the hip that I did it over. Yeah, and but it's not about that. Like yesterday, and again, I'm not trying to sort of stroke my ego here. It's a great, skateboarding I think is great for minimizing that as well, in that same reality check way. I think it's tough to sustain arrogance in skateboarding, and I think that's a beautiful thing. We definitely need to do away with, I think, ego just in the world. I don't really see it serving a purpose, being sort of self-consumed, you know. I think sort of giving is also the gift that keeps on giving. Rather than looking inwardly, it's good to look out, and it's also part of what motivated this video, is just to give back to a community I'm really grateful for. Please go away. You know who it is. Bloody, what was I going to say? Man, come on, bugger off. I was having fun with you before, but now it's just torturous. What was I going to say? Bit of scoot technical difficulties, I guess. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's something you can expect in a skate park, is scooters impeding your session. But also there, try to be understanding of that they're just learning not how to ride their vehicle of choice, their toy of choice, but they're learning the traffic scenario of it all. And that's really something I didn't touch on in this video. That is a very real aspect of it, is understanding that skate park etiquette. And to touch on it very quickly, the essence of that is just watch where people are going. If they're going to skate back and forth trying a trick on this rail, then try to skate something else. Or, you know, particularly while you're learning, there is a whole lot of places you can skate. I still have a ton of fun in car parks, you know, so there's really no great need to be in a skate park unless you are pursuing bowl skating. And if you're watching this video, you know, it's probably sort of a few years down the line, or maybe it's a year down the line, really. Actually, shout out to my dear boy Hudson Walker. Hey mate. There's Lay, Takeo. If there was a this for Takeo, that's what I'd be showing right now. But shout out to Huddy, Hudson Walker. I think it's Huddy2478. Get a load of him. I'll give him the quick shout out now. He's incredible talent and a very lovely, cool kid. We have good games of skate. I learn easily as much from him as he learns from me. Probably more so him, I don't know. So as I was saying, this video was motivated by the desire to minimize injury, completely avoidable injury, and really encourage that anyone can skate as long as anyone of any age, any ability, any illness maybe, can skate. You just have to approach it in the right way. You know, there's people in wheelchairs who skate, and there's Felipe Nunez as well, amazing stuff. Yeah, anyway, sorry, I could shout out skaters all day long as well, but you know, skateboarding really is there for pretty much everyone, all walks of life. And really the main one I want to emphasize is any age, you know, you can do this. And if you're a bigger person, you know, I've been heavier in my time, and as long as you're sensible about it, you don't have to worry about, you know, that weight increasing damage on your body, and you can have a good time skating. So yeah, the injuries, totally avoidable injuries, I really want to do away with, to as much as, you know, to the degree that I can help that, because I really think it just does not need to be a part of beginner skateboarding. You just have to approach it in the right way, and it's just a matter of education. And yeah, hopefully that's the purpose that this video served. But the other thing that motivated this video was online communities. Over 30s beginner skateboarders on Facebook is one such. So basically, the reason I include that is just request videos if you have something in mind that you want to talk about. If there's something you don't understand, if you want to know more about why I would opt for these shoes or those shoes or this kind of board or that kind of board, any question like that, I'm happy to give my sort of knowledge to. Move along, sir. The exact same scooter kid, ladies and gentlemen. You can get used to that in skate parks. But you just, you know, skateboarding will help you develop patience too. Yeah, so I really want to help, you know, so if there's things you don't understand, try not to approach skateboarding with a sense of mystery, you know. Someone like myself, I'm happy to sort of give my insight on if this feels uncomfortable or that feels uncomfortable. Send me a video or whatever, and you know, we'll talk about it. And you may see also on the channel I've done sort of trick tips specifically for people, so if you have something that you're not understanding about a trick, it's not me, then, you know, let me know and let's do it. But happy skateboarding, you know, just approach it in the right way, and it really is such a fulfilling thing, and my life would be tremendously worse without it, and it's been the thing that got me through the hardest times in my life and continues to, you know. So that'll do it. Thanks very much for watching. Keep safe out there. Please don't hurt yourself. If you did and you don't understand why you did, you know, you can show me that. My stomach is strong enough for that. Yeah, I just really don't want to see anyone get hurt unnecessarily. But that'll be that. Peace. I'm Rhys. Yeah.
That dead ended on that one.
How to fall. You want to convert your downward momentum into sideways momentum to the best of your ability. So Barry actually did that. When he fell off his board, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but came off his board and pushed himself that way. And so you kind of slide along the ground. That way you can think of that there's this solid object, right? Gravity's pushing us down this way, and there's a solid object here. You can either go straight into it and it's like a car running into a brick wall, or if you push yourself sideways, it's this. It's like hitting the bottom of a quarter pipe, you know? Baz, show them what's up. Show them what time it is. Yeah, Baz! There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
But yeah.
I just wanted to say I did like a kickflip nose manual yesterday that's been like years of developing, just because I've done kickflips wrong so much of my skateboarding, like just in a way where not wrong, but I can't sort of apply them to a nose manual as easy as I can to a manual, you know. I land too much on one truck more than the other, and so it's these little things that are it's so exciting. I can't tell you the relief I felt doing a kickflip nose manual, where I've done much more difficult tricks in terms of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater point scale than a kickflip nose manual. But that trick, for me, you know, was a tremendous goal to overcome. And skateboarding is full of those, you know? And it doesn't have to be what you can't do, but you can do something else. It's just what you can't do, you know? It's so exciting to learn something new in skateboarding. And that's really the whole journey of it for me, every day. And it's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And it makes you feel like you're getting stronger and more resilient, and it teaches you when you get when you fall down, you get back up. Skateboarding is beautiful. I'm very grateful for it.